The first question that we had recently was from a coach who wanted to understand, and it's a question which we often get. It's a question relating to, given that I've got a team of players who may all be diverse with their profiles. So we've got a team where we have Ds, we've got Is, we've got Ss, and we've got Cs. The challenge of how to address all of these players in a perhaps short period of time, a half-time break, a timeout during the game. And how do we address each of their needs, knowing that if we were to do this one-on-one, we could specifically talk to a player, we would know what their profile was, and if they're a D, we can give them some very direct and concise information. If they're an S, we can be a little bit slower paced, we can give them a little bit more detail, we can give them some sense of reassurance. But the reality when we're addressing a larger group of people is that we have to find some way around trying to say something which is going to meet the needs of everyone. One of the first concepts that we talk about when using this as a general principle is we have to always consider that us as coaches are going to have preferences for always, I guess if you like, communicating or coaching in one way or another, depending on whether we're a DIS or a C. Now, what's important is the consideration of the situation that we're in and the environment that we're in at the time. And to a large degree, that's going to dictate what style we choose to use in that given situation. From my perspective, if we're pressed for time, if it's a quarter time, half-time break, if it's a timeout during a game, if it's a pressure situation, then our need to communicate has to be crystal clear. And therefore it must be concise. And therefore it must be direct. Having said that, there's always opportunities to ask questions. You can ask your athletes a question. You can give them some positive encouragement. And so what I think about is moving around the quadrant model of DISC. And so you imagine you've got your team in front of you, you've got your diversity of DIS and C profiles. Now, if we wanted to appeal to the Ds immediately, then we talk about our overall goal and strategy and what our tactics are going to be. And so, for example, you might say to your team, our number one priority for this next part of the game is to do ... Now, how are we going to do this? So as soon as you go into the how we're going to do it, there's a good chance that the Ds may have already started to switch off a little bit because they've heard about what the number one priority is and that's become their focus. That's what they're listening for. The how is more in like the Cs on your team who are going to be looking for detailed information. They're going to be looking for some specific strategies. And that's when, if you're in a basketball team, it might be how we're going to do this is we're going to get the ball from this person, and then that person is going to pass to this person here, and that person is going to make a maneuver around here. And so you're creating a set play. And so that's the strategy and the tactics. Now that's going to appeal to the Cs on your team who want structure around how they go about operating. In terms of appealing to the S's, they're really looking for their personal involvement. And so just by using some of their names specifically, you can gather their sense of engagement and involvement. And so they're looking at how specifically they are going to be included and what is going to be the outcome for the team. The I part is really quite easy. That's really just talking in terms of how engaging you are when you speak. And so it's talking in an upbeat manner, it's talking enthusiastically, it's talking as though you're absolutely interested and intense about what it is that you're trying to get across in the message that you're delivering. And so once again, in summary, the easiest way to do this is to literally think, okay, what are the Ds listening for? What are the Is listening for? What are the S's and what are the C's listening for? And then to literally move around the circle and to consciously be thinking about that quadrant model when you communicate. All of you should have, all of our clients have been given one of these coaching cards. And it's always a great idea to just keep this handy within your coaching notes, in your journals, whatever you keep beside you. And remind yourself, okay, so if I'm going to talk to the Ds, it's fast-paced, it's decisive, it's goal-orientated, it's about the results. If I'm going to talk to the Is, fast-paced, spontaneous, I need a sense of energy, I need that level of commitment, I need that level of engagement when I actually present to them. The Yeses are more relationship-oriented, therefore they're interested in what's their role specifically, how are they going to help the team, and ultimately, what is the team goal? So they're very good listeners when it comes to that part, and the Cs are listening for the process. Okay, what is the specific strategy and exactly how are we going to do this?